Good morning, everyone, or good afternoon, or good evening, whoever happens to be here. I have definitely learned Teacher's Table has wrapped around the globe. So we're all here. Welcome to the table. Really excited to be here on day 6 of the Hive Summit. We're approaching halfway through the summit, and such a great summit so far. Wonderful PD shared. I'm loving the sessions, loving hearing back from all of you guys, from things like the Teacher's Table to people tweeting out, people Instagramming, Facebooking, so many neat things being shared, so many ideas being shared, so many lives being changed. I absolutely love it. So I would like to start off by telling everybody today's going to be a great day. Today's day 6. We have Adam Marino's session queued up, and people are already starting to watch that and love that. I'm already seeing some tweets roll in on that, so that's awesome. And if we hop over here for a second to our main page here, if you're catching this after the fact, or if you're catching this live and you want to be part of the Hive Summit, all you got to do is go to hivesummit.org and sign up. It's free, and you get an all access pass, tons of resources. The other thing I wanted to share sort of on that calendar, I want to give a real big plug here and shout out here to this Let's Play game at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You don't need to know how to play. You don't need to bring anything. Just bring yourself. Bring, I guess you could have a pad of paper or something like that and a pencil. But other than that, we are good to go. It's going to be a great time. I hope you guys gather around that table. If you have some kids, we put this one in the afternoon so that we could kind of like, it could be a family event if you want. And we would love for you to be at the table with us. All right, so let's see who we have here. Regina in school building. Woo! Well, thanks for joining us at the teacher's table. Kathy Sue made it back. I appreciate that, Kathy. Caitlin, good morning. Jennifer Knox, excited to have you back. Natalia, love it. Carmen, changing your logo there, changing your little avatar. Love it. Good afternoon from Casablanca. Angie, good morning at the teacher's table. Love it. Michael, good evening. So you're probably not drinking coffee, but David, good morning. Welcome back. Amanda Gray, good to have you here as always. Absolutely love having you at the table. Amanda tried the Thai peanut chicken salad. It looked amazing. I absolutely love that recipe. Thanks for giving that one a go. Carrie, good morning, y'all. Here from small town Oklahoma. Teach senior English. Love it. All right, so before we get into today's topic, a few little etiquette rules here. One, Teacher's Table is a welcoming community. That's what it's like sort of founded on, is that a bunch of educators can come together, chit chat. It's a safe space, safe place to be. So if somebody's new and you see that somebody's new, please welcome them, introduce them. Ricardo, for example, welcome. Hola from Panama, welcome. And so yeah, be a welcoming community. The other etiquette is when we're doing a discussion here and that thread's active, and I absolutely love it when that chat's active, you guys are chatting, I'm chatting, if you could do me a huge favor and put my name at the front of it if it's part of our general discussion, so I know that that's like a chat that I could sort of bring up and sort of talk about with everyone. So if it's something that you want to enter into sort of the public conversation, put at Mr. Matera at the front of it. That'd be awesome. Thank you very much. All right, let's get down to business. Yesterday's session was with Brad and Nathan, the authors of Hacking School Discipline. Great session talking all about school discipline, but kind of in a way that I absolutely love it and definitely fits my ethos, and really talking about the power of relationships, and we're going to kind of get into some of those, but I thought it was a great session. If you haven't watched that yet, make sure you check it out. I'd love for you guys to see that. It was a great episode. Now, I wanted to start with the idea of relationships. It's about building relationships, and that's an investment, right? And when you're talking about a relationship, that investment you make, I think it always pays off, but it's not the same as like some immediate investments that you can make, right? Like sometimes that's a long haul investment and it's worth making, but what are ways you invest in our students? What are different styles, different ways we can invest in our students so that they know that we're there for them? They really talked about the power of investing in that relationship, but I was hoping that the Teachers Table community could really come together here and share really ways that we all do it. And if we all share those little ways and we add up all those little ways, we're going to come up with a lot of ways in which we can really positively impact students in our classrooms and really make those investments and nurture those investments so that over time those relationships are really fruitful for everybody involved, right? Like this, we're not trying to sell a product here. Like we're in the human business here. We're trying to make our students the best they can be. And a way to make somebody hear you, a way to make somebody care about what you say is to first make sure that they understand you care about them. So this is a great place to start, right? Super great place to start. So let's start there. Let's bring up today's light goal. Today's light goal is 30. We do this on this channel. This is a little light goal to show that we're all here in it together. And then we can have a little bit of a party here, a little confetti party. So let's try to get to 30 today. All you got to do is smash that like button, show that you're here, show that you care. All right, let's see on the comments here. Let me dig through this. Phil's here. Welcome. Nick Davis is here. Fantastic. Glad to see you here. Lots of chatter going on. I love it. Angie just rolled out of bed. I'm so glad you got here. Oh, you're going to love, Angie, you are going to love Adam's session. It is dynamic. It's good. Let's see. Debbie made it. Fantastic. All right. Michael, thank you. Let's see what we got here. Michael, although I have no idea why it is so big, trying dance moves in their TikToks. That Michael, you and I sort of see eye to eye. I don't really understand TikTok. I'm going to sound like an old person here, but I don't get it. But it's the space they're in, and I think that is to the heart of your comment, is trying to like honor where they're at, what are they like, and not necessarily be faking it, but be relational in it. Like try to do the dance, right? Even if it's even if it's a little silly, do it. Try it. You got this. Let's see here. Some more answers here. I thought I see a few. Caitlin says, Michael Matera loved the quote, "A good teacher seeks not to control, but to understand." Thank you. I think it's important that we really think about that. Absolutely dislike the referral system. It doesn't work. Right, so like we're trying to think, what are these ways we can invest in students and our relationships with those students? It's super important that we do this. I'll tell you a couple ways that I do this, how I invest in my students. One, we all know we're super busy as teachers, right? From the grading, from the like creation of things, from even just going to the copy room and making copies, right? Or building out your website or whatever the case may be if you're paperless. And then we have lives on top of that, right? Like we're busy. But a simple way to, I think, really invest time in our kids is attend some of their after school events and attend them when they're like at your school. Like it can be really easy. There's tons of sporting events that fall right after school, or even like practices fall right after school. And it does wonders for you and your relationship with those students if you stop in, and even if it's like 10 minutes at a basketball practice or 30 minutes at a track meet, but you didn't have to drive somewhere else. You're already at the school, and that investment is like compounded by the story that it tells other students, right? Like the fact that you come, even if you didn't make it to every event or every sporting event or all the different sports that are out there, the fact that you do come makes all the students see you in a different light. And I think that that's like a good little hack, right? A little relationship hack for sure. Let's see what Mr. Marino, who is today's speaker? So definitely check out day 6. Storytelling, we connect, we discover similarities, and we affirm the differences that make us unique through stories. I share and actively listen and respond to my student stories. So that was a nice little sort of surgical separation you did there. So Adam's definitely saying it's important for us to share stories and tell our story to the students so that we can be that relational bit. But also, like Adam really pointed out, we also have to be really active listeners and not always listening just to sort of one up. That was a big piece in Nathan and Brad's talk. We actually went on to talk about that after we hit the off button here on the record, that this idea of truly just listening and then asking sort of more probing questions on that. Like, don't have the conversation bounce back to you for you to just add your story. Like, bounce back to you so that you can ask another driving question for them that can really help support that relationship for sure. All right, we're at 14 on the like goals. Super close here. We're approaching half. Let's do this. Oh, Jennifer, that's super awesome. You loved it. I'm glad. Michael, I think that's important, right? Not taking ourselves too seriously, being a little silly. I don't know. Maybe it's the middle school nature in me, but I think it's important for us to sort of be a little silly. I think when kids see you sort of put your hair down a little bit, it's welcoming to them. And I think it makes, when they see you be your quirky self, it kind of gives everyone in this room permission to be their quirky self, for sure. Roberto, nice to have you here from Maine. Love it. Let's see what Amanda says. Amanda says, looking forward to catching up on videos. I allow students to have their phones until class starts. I love when they show me pictures/videos and I photobomb their selfies every chance I get. So that's, again, a little bit of that silly relational. I love the selfie bomb. I also love like asking their world in terms of like, what are they watching on YouTube? You know, like that's a huge thing for them. What are their favorite TikTok videos, TikTok dances? Going back to what Michael said, trying to connect with them on that level is huge. All right, so let's see. Carmen from Rocco says, I always tell stories about my life and struggles to get where I am now. They are always surprised because they see teachers sometimes as people who have no issues in life. So true. I had a very close friend sort of point that out to me. You know, you don't want to like belabor the point, but you also don't want to hide the point. And that was what a friend told me. When I got divorced, I was kind of, you know, like ashamed of the divorce and sad, you know. And as such, like I have my daughter 50% of the time. And instead of saying like I have my daughter this weekend, I would say like, like this weekend I'm going to the zoo with my daughter, right? I would intentionally structure sentences so that people didn't have to understand that piece of my life. But then this friend really pointed out, there are students in your classroom who come from divorced families, right? And they need to see you as someone that's healthy, happy, okay with that. So again, I don't stop and have divorce conversations with my students, but I don't anymore hide that piece of the conversation. So now I will phrase the sentence like, oh, this weekend I have my daughter and we're going to the zoo. I'm really excited, right? So just little ways like that you can show your own story, but show the fact that you're human, that like you have trials and tribulations as well. That's big. Roberto, I'm right there with you. TikTok, that's a phenomenon all in and of itself. What does David say? David says, I get to know their interests and learn about those interests. 2 years ago, I had a class obsessed with Pokemon, and I learned to play the card game and played it with them at lunch. That's huge when you can sort of, whatever it is, sit shoulder to shoulder with them, right? Get down on their level. That's pretty big. And when you do it with an open mind and an open heart, right? As a middle school teacher, I sometimes have to check my sarcasm, right? And remind myself I'm being relational here. I am opening up to Pokemon. I'm opening up to that idea of what's interesting to them. Like, for example, TikTok, that is not my thing. I can be silly and sort of self-deprecating, but I got to make sure to still honor the fact that this is what they like. Yes, Jessica, welcome to the teacher's table. Absolutely love having you here. But again, attend events they care about, whether that's like, oh, our school always puts on plays and musicals. I try every year to make it to those because the kids work so hard at those and they care so much. And the other nice thing is they involve so many students. There's a ton of kids that are there. And so I guess if you really want to build community, you have to be a part of that community. And I get that we invest so much in our individual classrooms. But again, if we want to have a healthy culture, it has to extend beyond those classroom walls. And that does come with some time investment on our part, for sure. Let's see. I think the best times in class is when we all laugh together, set up humorous opportunities. I so agree. I will say I like to be silly with my kids, for sure. And some of it's like corny, like dad type jokes, but it's who I am, and they appreciate that because I'm sharing who I am. I am being who I am with them. Here's one by Michael. I like it. He pops in to see their drama or art performances. This is a huge one. Is if I don't know, how your schedule goes, but I have typically at least a period a day that's free. And a lot of times, yes, that's to grade and to photocopy and to do all of those tasks for sure. But sometimes I really try to like connect with other teachers. Like, wait, hey, what are you doing in PE today? Oh, like you're doing, disc golf. Like, I play disc golf. That would be super fun to go down there. Or, hey, I don't. Like one time they were doing an archery unit, and I was like, well, I'll go learn archery. And it was so fun to go down there with the students. The students were like, what? Mr. Matera's here. I cleared it with the teacher beforehand so it wouldn't be like disruptive. And I partnered up with one of the kids, and we learned how to do archery together. But that was super fun. Go down, see their drama performances, for example. Pop into an art room and like walk around and then talk to the art teacher about what their project is. Talk to other students about what their projects are, for sure. Phil, love this. This is a great way to build culture and community, is positive phone calls home just to check in on them, especially if you guys are doing any sort of virtual distance learning this year. This is even more so. Like, I know it takes time, but try to call, all of your kids. And again, it may take time. Like, that's fine. If you have a huge group of students, break it up so that you don't do it by class. Call the first like 4 kids in each of your classes, alphabetically, then call the next 4 in all of your classes. So kids are hearing that like you are making connections across the board, for sure. For sure. Let's see here. I struggle with having class time to complete the content and taking time to stop and address behavior. I'll be using Nathan's and Brad's suggestion to stop and discuss in the moment. I definitely have a question. We're going to talk a little bit about those community circles and stopping. So maybe this is the perfect time to do that. Let me just fly down here because there's a lot of Caitlin talking about active listening, super important. Go to events and activities. Craig has this good suggestion here, is Flipgrid is a great way, especially in distance learning. Let's see here. Roberto, definitely challenging the like goal. I absolutely love it. Regina, quirkiness. I'm absolutely a fan of being quirky, being ourselves. Being more playful, Jennifer, for sure. I dig it. These are great responses. So many great responses. Attending school activities, for sure. Fan of sarcasm. Lisa, welcome. If you walk by a kindergarten room during nap time, you will need all your strength not to go in and rest your eyes. That's hilarious. I absolutely love it. This is huge. Arthur says, I know it sounds crazy, but calling staff members parents or homes is also powerful for leaders. I so agree. I've never worked with a principal that's done that, but I know kids deserve it. In that book, he suggested doing that with his staff, and I just think that's a great idea. I don't think I'll ever become an admin, but if I did, I would totally do that. I think that builds community and culture for your teachers. For sure. Lots. I mean, whew. Some good things here, guys. All right. So my sort of second question I want to talk about is building a classroom filled with support, empathy, empowerment isn't easy. Culture comes through consistency. Nathan spoke about the power of setting aside your plan for a bit in order to address a situation through community circles. Let's spend a moment together right now. Let's figure this out. What are some good ground rules for a healthy circle? Right? Let's start there. What are some rules you'll put in place either for the students or yourself? Right? I will tell you, as part of our advising program, we do community circles, but it's really more of an advising thing. We didn't necessarily have our classes circle up. But one of the ground rules is you really tell the kids, or at least I tell the kids, like how important the circle is, and the sort of trust that's in that circle, the bond that's in that circle, and the respect that's in that circle. But you have to make sure as the teacher that you're honoring that. So there are times I want to talk, way more than the kids, but you got to dial that back. There are times where other kids are misbehaving, and those can't just be platitudes that the circle's important and that we care about each other. I tell my kids up front, like, one of my roles is to make sure that we are all abiding by those rules. And if I ask you to be removed from the circle, that's because you're breaking some of these tenets. And then I usually tell them, you can come back in the circle whenever you want, but be ready to adhere to those. Because if I have to remove you again, that's a big problem. Like, we're all going to make mistakes. I try not to belabor that point, but this idea of truly honoring that circle, and it's hard as a teacher because I don't know, as a middle school teacher, I like to forgive quite a bit. But if you really want those circles to be healthy, you really have to show everyone that you mean it. You mean those rules. You mean the fact that this is a safe space for everyone to sort of come to. Let's see here. Carrie, that's super kind, but I don't think I have any design to be an admin. But I would love to work with these people on this teacher's table for sure, or the XP Lab community. Such wonderful, wonderful people. Let's see. Mr. Marino says, when we were colleagues, modeled friendship for our students. That's true. We were the best friends, and we would hang out at recess, stop by each other's classes, and include students in jokes. I really like this point, right? So Adam and I definitely, when we worked together, it was so fun. But part of that was that we talked about up above, like that silliness, right? We showed a healthy friendship in front of our students, and we involve those students sometimes in like little silly ways in our jokes. But I also like to stop by each other's rooms. Get out of your rooms, people. Like, make healthy staff culture as well, and part of that is taking that investment of time. Like, stop by a room, say hi to somebody, see what they're doing, talk about their project, right? Talk about their classroom, hear about them, for sure. Craig, what does Craig say? Share the time and be active listeners within a community circle. I fully agree. Like I said, when I first started circles, I just wanted to talk. And I wanted to like make sure I modeled enough. But what I was modeling was kind of horrible because I just took over. So definitely share that time. Be an active listener. Kathy Sue, my circles always have the students stand instead of sit, easier to circle up. Nice. I have, well, not this year, but normally I just have these 4 or 5 tables, and it leaves kind of an empty space in the center, and we circle up there. What does Michael say? What happens in a circle stays in the circle. Solid rule. I definitely try to do that as well. What does Arthur say? Everyone is on the same level. No one's standing to appear bigger, teacher included. Totally agree. I sit with those kids. None of us use chairs. We just sort of sit crisscross applesauce, right? And we're there in that circle together for sure. As Roberto say, everyone has to have a voice. We can bring the spiderweb analogy to help understand circle discussions. And think about if we do some of these things at the Hive Summit, and if we layer them, right? If we do this hacking school discipline with spiderweb discussions, with today's Adam Marino's purpose-driven learning, like, I think we're gonna have like a great year with our students, even though it's already sort of a compromised different year than we wanted. I think we can make the best of it, especially if we sort of layer some of these. That's amazing. Active listening, for sure. Agree with you, Michael. Okay. Yep. It's just not, I'm just not cut out for it. Like, on the admin side of things, I would love to make some of the decisions, help a ship create the right culture. But on the other hand, like, I remember talking to my past admin when we had like a remodel to our school, and she was telling me that she just spent like 4 hours in a meeting debating like carpet color. And I was like, oh my gosh, I have like no care to like debate that at all. Let's see, what does Deborah say? Deborah says, we circle up in my classroom weekly. We use it for team building, content review, and problem solving when necessary. Norms are reset at the beginning of every circle. I think that's important. Actually, kind of this teacher's table, I always take that time to sort of just say what the etiquette is. Welcoming those new people, that's important, right? To take that time to set that stage, because we're going to have new people. Sometimes people have to hear things multiple times for it to kind of sink in. Sometimes people miss that beginning. I, as a middle school teacher, kids are always coming in sometimes like 3 minutes late, 4 minutes late, and they miss that beginning. So saying that beginning over and over can be helpful for sure. Let's see here. What does David say? Our grade 5 social studies curriculum is First Nation centered. So I use a First Nation talking stick to only let one person talk so that the rest of the students are focused on listening. I know it sounds silly. Maybe it's a 6th grade thing, but one of the things we work on in our advising program is just actually like nonverbal communications, like that it's important to look somebody in the eye, that it's important to sometimes echo back what they say. Sometimes it's important to use their name, So we actually open up our circles by greeting each other. And it's kind of like I would greet the person next to me, the person next to me would greet them, but you actually have to use your name, right? So I would say like, hello, Jennifer. And then Jennifer would say back to me, hello, Michael. Then Jennifer would turn and say like, hello, David. And then like David would say, hello, Jennifer, right? So it's like using each other's names, practicing that like eye contact. And I have to tell you, like at first it's felt like rigid and sort of like odd, but then all of a sudden like it felt natural. And I'm so glad that we kind of stuck to it and did that with our students for sure. Carmen, community circles is the one thing kids look forward to every day. Everyone has a voice. We are at the same level of participation and leading it. Dig it. Arthur gives us rule number 2. Everyone is present. Keep distractions at a minimum. Totally agree. So I don't let kids like bring anything to the circle. Like even, I'll be honest, I don't even let like some of the fidgety things, like I want you, just you at the circle. And I do the same thing. I leave everything outside of that circle. Jennifer Knox, I appreciate it. I want us to get there, guys, for sure. We're only a little bit off here. Have an appreciation for what others in the group love. Just because you don't like something doesn't mean you can't appreciate why somebody else likes it. So true, right? And I think that's awesome to like widen our students' sort of perspective. All right, guys, this has been a great chat. I see that we're at 8:31 already. I can't believe it. Time just flies on these things. I want to just do a few things here before we end. One, I want to tell you guys that, again, hopping over here today, we have, if you checked out the calendar, there's a live playthrough of a game that we can play together. Super fun. So I hope you guys come to that. And again, bring your family, bring your friends. It'll be a great time at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I hope some of you guys here can make that game. And the other thing I wanted to sort of share with you guys is I got some good news here. And that is yesterday we had some big donations here, lots of donations, lots of little donations, I should say. And our total for the Kiva Fund is at $268. I'm pretty happy with that. And again, if you have an opportunity or a moment, consider donating to the Kiva Fund. The Kiva Fund is near and dear to my heart. It helps support change around the globe. And I think with all the free PD we've gotten this year, in and out of the hive, I think it's a small give back for us to sort of invest in people around the globe, helping them achieve sort of their dreams. So this all goes straight to that Kiva Fund, and we have helped so many people over the years through that Kiva Fund. So consider donating. I was pretty happy to see those shoot up the other day because we were pretty low before, and it went up, and I'm really happy. And with over 10,000 teachers buzzing in the hive, getting all this PD and PD certificates, it would be awesome if we really show how we've changed our classrooms, but we can also help change the world. I would absolutely love that, guys. All right, you guys have a great rest of your day. I hope some of you are going to make game night this afternoon. Let me know if you're going to be there. I'd love to see it in the comments. That'd be awesome. All right, everybody, you guys, I want you to have a great day, right? Just enjoy it. All right, take care, everybody.